Throughout history, humanity has cherished the idea of free will, the belief that our choices are our own, born from our own thoughts, intentions, and desires. Free will is at the core of our concepts of responsibility, morality, and even our sense of self. But what if this deeply held belief is just an illusion? What if, rather than authors of our actions, we are simply agents responding to a pre-programmed sequence of biological and environmental factors? In this video, we'll explore what it means to have free will, how different thinkers have approached the topic, and what modern science suggests about whether we are truly in control of our lives. Philosophers have long debated the nature of human choice. For Aristotle and Aquinas, free will was essential for moral responsibility. According to them, to hold a person accountable for their actions, those actions must be freely chosen. If every choice is a result of prior causes, it becomes difficult to justify blame or praise. However, ancient skeptics like Democritus challenged this notion. A proponent of atomism, Democritus argued that humans, like everything else in the universe, are composed of atoms following predetermined paths. For him, even human decisions might be nothing more than a series of atomic interactions. As the centuries progressed, new schools of thought emerged. Augustine introduced a religious dimension, claiming that free will was a gift from God, allowing humans to choose between good and evil. Meanwhile, in the Enlightenment, thinkers like John Locke and Immanuel Kant explored the possibility of free will as a rational aspect of the human mind. Kant, especially, believed that free will was necessary for moral actions, arguing that moral laws only hold if we can choose to follow them. In the 17th century, René Descartes famously said, "I think, therefore I am." Descartes believed the mind to be separate from the body, implying that thoughts and intentions could exist independently of physical processes. However, modern physics and biology have shifted towards a deterministic view, suggesting that all events are determined by prior causes. Under determinism, the universe operates like a complex clockwork mechanism, each event causing the next. In this view, even our thoughts and actions could be the result of prior events rather than free choice. Isaac Newton's laws of motion further supported this mechanistic universe model, showing how physical objects move in a predictable way based on prior conditions. Determinism poses a major problem for free will. If everything is predetermined, then our thoughts and actions are not choices we make, but results of causes and effects. Deterministic philosophy leaves no room for moral responsibility if we are, as some philosophers claim, merely biological machines. Neuroscience has further complicated our understanding of free will. In the 1980s, neuroscientist Benjamin Libet conducted a groundbreaking experiment. Libet measured brain activity in participants who were instructed to press a button whenever they chose to. His experiment found that the brain initiated activity milliseconds before the individual became consciously aware of their intention to press the button. This suggests that our brain may make decisions before our conscious mind even registers them. Does this mean that free will is an illusion? Libet believed that while we might not control the initiation of action, we could control the veto, the ability to stop an action at the last moment. Since Libet's work, other neuroscientists have also explored how decisions form in the brain. Many find evidence that the brain's neural pathways work in predictable patterns, shaped by genetics, environment, and past experiences. This points towards a limited sense of freedom, one in which our choices may be heavily influenced, if not entirely determined, by factors outside our control. The debate between determinism and free will has led to a middle ground theory known as compatibilism. Compatibilists argue that even in a deterministic world, we can still act freely. They claim that free will doesn't require total independence from causality, only the ability to act according to one's own motivations and beliefs. In other words, if a person's actions align with their internal desires and intentions, those actions can still be considered free, even if they are influenced by prior causes. Philosopher Daniel Dennett, a contemporary advocate for compatibilism, argues that free will is more about being able to make choices that align with our values rather than breaking from causation entirely. This perspective offers a new way of understanding freedom. Instead of seeing free will as the ability to make choices completely separate from the world, compatibilism suggests that free will is about acting in harmony with oneself. If free will is truly an illusion, it has profound implications for society. One of the biggest challenges is the question of moral responsibility. Can we hold people morally responsible for their actions if everything they do is determined by prior causes? In the justice system, for example, we hold individuals accountable for their choices. However, if free will does not exist, can we truly blame someone for actions that were inevitable outcomes of their biology and environment? This raises ethical questions about punishment, rehabilitation, and forgiveness. Yet, despite the possibility that free will may be an illusion, the belief in autonomy remains central to how we treat others. The concept of moral responsibility relies on the assumption that individuals are free to choose. Some philosophers argue that we should embrace the idea of choice, even if free will is limited. Jean-Paul Sartre, an existentialist philosopher, suggested that we are condemned to be free. For Sartre, freedom is not just the ability to make choices, but an unavoidable aspect of being human. Even if our options are limited by our circumstances, our responses to them are our own. This idea challenges determinism by focusing on personal agency. Sartre believed that even in a deterministic world, humans have the ability to interpret their circumstances and find meaning. Whether free will exists or not, the belief in autonomy is central to our human experience. This belief shapes how we see ourselves and others, how we judge actions, and how we seek meaning. Perhaps even if free will is an illusion, its power lies in its ability to inspire us to live thoughtfully. If you enjoyed this exploration of free will, be sure to subscribe for more content on philosophy and the mind. Let's keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep discovering the mysteries of thought together.